When I moved into apartment 24B, I wanted one thing: peace. The previous year had destroyed me. A breakup, losing my job, months of anxiety I never talked about. So when I found a cheap apartment in an old building outside the city, I took it immediately. The place wasn't great. Old walls, dim hallways, an elevator that worked only when it felt like it. But it was quiet, too quiet, at least in the beginning, because after a few weeks, I started noticing my neighbor, the man living across from me, apartment 24A. His name was Mr. Novak. I only knew because it was written beside his mailbox. He looked around 70 years old, thin, always wearing the same gray coat. Even inside the building, I never saw visitors, never heard music, never heard a TV, nothing. Almost like nobody lived there. Except, every night at exactly 11:47 p.m., his door opened. He walked downstairs, placed a plate of food beside the building entrance, looked left, looked right, then went back inside. Every single night, without fail. At first I assumed he was feeding a stray cat, maybe a dog. There were plenty nearby, but after weeks, I noticed something strange. I never actually saw an animal, not once. Yet every morning, the plate was empty, perfectly clean. Months passed. Eventually, I stopped questioning it. Humans get used to strange things faster than they should. We turn weird habits into normal routines. Until one night, the elevator broke again. I had to take the stairs. Halfway up, I passed Mr. Novak's apartment. His door wasn't fully closed, just enough to hear voices. I froze, because I heard him speaking, and another voice answering. A younger man, calm, soft, saying, "Thank you for waiting for me." My stomach dropped. Mr. Novak lived alone. Everyone knew that. I looked through the opening for 1 second, only one. Mr. Novak sat at his kitchen table. 2 plates prepared, 2 glasses, and he was nodding toward an empty chair, like someone sat there. I walked back to my apartment immediately, locked the door, told myself I imagined it. Old buildings carry sound strangely. That had to be it, until the next day. I met another resident downstairs, an older woman named Elena. She had lived there for years. I casually asked, "Does the man across from me have family?" The moment I said it, her face changed, immediately, like I mentioned something forbidden. After a few seconds, she whispered, "Don't ask him about his son." I frowned. "What son?" She stared at me before answering. "His son disappeared 11 years ago." According to her, Mr. Novak had one child, Daniel, 23 years old. One winter night, Daniel left the apartment and never came back. No body, no evidence, no witnesses, nothing. Police searched for months, then years. Eventually, they stopped. Everyone assumed he died. Everyone except Mr. Novak. He believed his son would return, hungry, cold, alone. So every night, he left food outside, waiting. The story stayed in my mind, but life continued until something happened. Something I still replay over and over, trying to explain it, failing every time. It was raining heavily. I woke up close to midnight, not because of thunder, because of footsteps, slow footsteps, outside my apartment. I checked my phone, 11:49 p.m. The footsteps stopped directly outside my door. I walked carefully to the peephole, looked through, and saw a man standing in the hallway, tall, very thin, wearing dark clothes, head lowered, completely still. At first, I assumed it was another resident. Then, he smiled, without lifting his head, a wide smile. Too wide, wrong, like skin stretched farther than it should. I stepped back instantly, heart pounding. When I looked again, the hallway was empty. The next morning, I found muddy footprints, starting near the entrance, ending outside Mr. Novak's apartment, not returning, only going toward his door. After that, things changed. Sometimes at night, I heard 2 people talking through the wall, one old voice, one young. Sometimes I heard footsteps, even though only one person lived there. Then came the worst night. I returned home late from work, almost 1 a.m. The building felt colder than usual. As I reached my floor, I saw Mr. Novak sitting outside his apartment. holding a plate, food untouched, his hand shaking. I asked if he was okay. He looked at me, eyes red, like he had been crying, then whispered, "He came back." I forced a nervous laugh, thinking confusion. Old age, I asked, "Who came back?" His answer was immediate, "My son." I stopped smiling. Mr. Novak kept staring down the hallway behind me, not at me, past me, then quietly added, "He doesn't look the same anymore." I turned around immediately. Nothing there. Empty hallway. When I looked back, Mr. Novak had already gone inside. Door closed. I barely slept that night. Around 3 a.m., someone knocked on my door. 3 slow knocks. I checked the peephole. Nobody. Then a whisper. Soft. Close. Almost touching the wood. Wrong apartment. I froze. Then again. He's waiting next door. I never opened. I stayed awake until sunrise. 3 days later, ambulances arrived. Police. Residents gathering outside. Mr. Novak had died during the night. Heart failure. Natural causes. Found sitting at his kitchen table. 2 plates prepared. 1 untouched. 1 empty. After the funeral, everything should have ended, but it didn't. Because the following night, at exactly 11:47 p.m., someone placed food outside again. Nobody admitted it. Not family, not neighbors, nobody. Yet every morning, the plate was empty. Weeks later, I hid near the entrance, waiting, phone recording. 11:46 p.m. Silence. 11:47 p.m. The plate appeared. I swear, appeared. Like invisible hands lowered it slowly. I couldn't breathe. Then, from the darkness nearer the parking lot, came chewing sounds. Wet, slow, human, but wrong. Then a young male voice whispered, "Tell Dad, I'm sorry I came back late." The voice came again, closer this time, almost beside me. He waited longer than he should have. I ran. I left everything. My phone, my keys, everything. I ran until sunrise. A week later, I moved away. Different city, different apartment, different life. I never returned. But sometimes, I wake up suddenly, look at the clock, and see 11:47 p.m. Then hear something outside my front door. A plate, gently touching the floor, and footsteps walking away. Slowly, patiently, like someone still believes they'll finally be welcomed home.